Are you an internationally educated nurse looking to start a new life in Canada? Becoming an internationally educated nurse in Canada can be daunting, but with the right resources and the right guidance, you can navigate this process with pure confidence. In this video, I will go through the steps required to become an international nurse in Canada so that you can start your journey today. So watch this video till the end. With the world seeing shortages in nursing staff, Canada is also noticing this, which is why they are putting in lots of effort to recruit internationally educated nurses. So let's go through the steps required to become a nurse in Canada. So before you start your application process to become a nurse in Canada, I would recommend that you do a little bit of research of Canada, because Canada is a massive country compared to the UK or compared to a lot of countries. It's also important that you have an idea as to which province or territory you intend to practice in, as this will make your application process a little bit easier. And when you apply for the NNAS services, then you already have an idea as to what province you are trying to apply for. The first step of the process is getting an application in through the NNAS services. So that is the National Nursing Assessment Service. And so when you put an application in through them, they are what they are doing is that they are going to assess your qualifications from your home country, and they're just going to make sure that your qualification from your home country is in line with the Canadian qualifications and the Canadian standards of nursing. So this is where it's really important that you decide which province or territory you are going to work in, because the NNAS will require you to tell them what province are you applying for, and they're going to then take your credentials and compare them to that province. So the next thing is NNAS is also going to be requiring all of your documentation, and they need you, as a part of their application process, they're going to need you to send in all of your documentations to them. And the documentations that they need you to send to them are going to be things like your educational documents, so your transcripts, your grades and stuff like that. They're also going to need a copy of your degree. They are going to need maybe some of your course curriculums and other academic records and stuff like that. If you were registered with a nursing council or a nursing body back in your home country, they are also going to need those kind of documentation. If you were employed, it's a really good idea also to provide them that employment records and things like that. At this point as well, because they are also going to need your English exam results. So you are required to take the IELTS English test, or they also have the CILBAT, which is the Canadian Nursing English exam as well. So they're going to require those documentation from you as well. From your country, these documentation must be notarized, which just means they're going to be legalized. Also, if they are in a different language, they are going to be needed to be translated into English, so just make sure you keep that in mind. So once your documentation has been received by the NNAS, they are then going to go ahead and evaluate them, comparing them to the Canadian qualifications and benchmarks. From there, they will then, if they evaluate your credentials and they're happy with them, they're then going to forward them to the regulatory body which you've chosen, depending on the province that you've chosen to work in. You can choose more than one province, but there is an additional fee to choose more than one province, and for the NNAS to send these documentations to. So once your documents have been evaluated by the NNAS, they're going to then send you a report, as well as send the regulatory body that you've decided to go to. They're going to send them a report as well, and then they will do some further evaluations. So the regulatory body is then going to make a decision whether you're going to need to do further education or further courses, or if they're happy for you to just continue on your registration process. If all is well and you don't need to do any further courses or anything like that, the next step is to write the NCLEX, which is the National Nursing Exam in Canada and the US. The NCLEX is typically taken at Pearson VUE centers. You can write this exam in your home country, or if you're already here in Canada, you can also write it at one of the local Pearson VUE testing centers. So the final step is once you've gone through all of the nursing registration process and they're happy, you're almost ready to go, you're going to need to start considering immigration processes and immigration statuses. So how, what kind of visa are you going to come on, as well as if you're looking for kind of permanent residency or temporary residency and stuff like that. Making the decision to move abroad is a very big decision and it can be daunting and stressful. So this is why I provide you guys all this information so that you can make the right decision for yourself and for your family. Check out my video that I have talking about the different nursing benefits that you can get when you work in Canada or the UK. This should help you make that decision whether you want to relocate to Canada or the UK.